Hello and welcome to another SolidWorks tutorial. Basically for this one we're going to look at how you assemble parts together so that you can check for fit, size, and basically make sure that they all fit together as they would in real life. So first off, new as usual, but this time rather than using part we're going to use assembly. Okay. Now mine's set to automatically open up the last folder I had open. Just for sake of argument, it should start like this normally, and you've got the open documents bit here so you can browse. That then opens up your folders, you can look for the parts. Now it's important that you start with the part that is the base of the assembly, or the fixed point, because basically the first bit that you put in is fixed. Everything else moves in relation to it, which can be a big thing if you're doing a moving assembly. It also makes it easier if you start with something that you can imagine being fixed as you put them together. So the biggest bit, or the bit that doesn't move in relation to the other bits. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this one here, 00101, which is the inspection V-block body. I'm just going to open that. Now straight away it opens it up for me. You can see it. I can drop it wherever I want. We have some controls down the bottom here, because obviously I've built mine the right way up, as it were, in the modelling phase, so it looks like it's the right way up. Quite a few of you, if you selected the wrong plane to start with, it might look like this, and all you have to do to move it around is use the controls at the bottom. You can set an angle and then you can rotate it according to the XYZ plane. So move that. There you go, rotated it back round. Now I want this to be in the middle of my assembly. I want this to be the centre. So you can try guessing where the middle is by dropping it, but if you just hit the tick, it will automatically drop it in the centre of the assembly. Okay? So that way all the planes should run through the middle. Doesn't really make a difference unless we get onto something really complex later, but it's always good practice, as I've said before, to make sure everything's central round the origin. Okay? So we've got our first bit. Now as I said, that's fixed, I can grab it, it doesn't really move anywhere, it's quite happy where it is. So next thing I want to do is insert the next part. So we go up to the top here to assembly and insert components. Again, that opens up, you can browse for it unless it pops up automatically. Now next I'm going to want 00102, which is the clamp for the inspection V-block. So open that up, there we go. So this is the part. Now again, I can rotate it round if I want to move it around so it's facing the right way before I start, but as a general rule I just tend to just drop it in. Okay, so this one there is now moving relative to the first one. Now obviously I can, there you go, I can sort of line it up about right like that. It looks right from there, looks right from there. Well, that's a pretty good guess. But it's not fixed and it doesn't act like it would in real life. So what we really want to do is to fix it into place. Now the way we do that in SolidWorks is using the mate tool. Okay, so it controls two components and makes them relative to one another. So we click on mate, that should bring up a load of options. There we go. So this is the standards mate menu. Majority of the mates we do are coincident. Occasionally we do perpendicular, tangent, concentric obviously for two round objects. So if we want them to be concentric circles, have the same centre point, obviously it's going to set to that one. Now SolidWorks is pretty good at automatically selecting the correct mate. So if you just select two surfaces like I'm going to do here, so I'm going to select the inside edge here, which it then makes this bit transparent for me because I've already selected that one, and then I'm going to select this face here, and it's straight away, it's done a coincident and it's knocked the two together. Now the problem with that of course is, although that could be technically right because it's touching up against there, there's then a big gap on the other side because of the way that it's been laid out. So what we can do is we can use a different mate. Now we could use a distance mate like the one here. If we do that, we can then set a distance, so obviously it's jumped back to where it was before. Now I know that the distance between the two is 0.5 millimeters. Okay, because then you've got half a mil on the right hand side and half a mil on the left hand side, so that's perfect. We can then tick that and it locks it in place. Now because it knows traditionally if you're doing mates you want to do more than one at a time, because one mate never actually fixes it, because all that's done is it's stopped it moving left to right on the screen. It still moves forwards and backwards. Okay, so if we look at it from the front, yeah, we can't actually move that left to right anymore. We can still move it up and down, but it doesn't move left to right. And then if we look at it from the side, it'll still move this way, it'll still move this way. Okay, so it's not fully defined yet. And obviously what we want is a fully defined thing. Now, because of gravity, I'm going to say that this face is going to sit on this ledge, because that's naturally where it would rest. Once there's a component in there, it would pull up against the top, but we're not going to put a component in, we're just looking at how it assembles together. So we're just going to say that that's going to sit on there. Okay, and that then gets rid of the up and down movement, so now it only moves forwards and backwards. Now, we could, in theory, put this anywhere along there, because now this is technically correct, isn't it? But I like to put it in the middle, because I think that looks neatest, so I always say it's best practice. Now, putting it in the middle, we could do a distance mate like we did with the inside leg, but to be honest, it's a bit complicated and a bit of a pain in the ass. So why don't we use SolidWorks to do the work for us? So if we go to Advanced Mates, what we've got in here is one called Width. And what this basically does is it works out where the middles are. So width selection, first off, I'm going to select one side of this clamp and then select the other side of this clamp. So that's specified that as the blue bit. Tab selections, so the bits that I want it to be in the middle of. So I'm going to select one end of the base and then the other end of the base. And that's actually moved it straight to the middle. So it's worked out where the difference is and it's done it to the centered point as it says right here. Okay? And then again, you just need to tick it. And it's done. Now I can tick it again just to get rid of it. And we can see there that that is now fully locked. It's not going anywhere. It doesn't matter what I do with my mouse, it's not going to move. So that's a fully defined part, as it says down the bottom. Now last bit is we want to obviously insert our screw, which is going to be 00103. And again, I didn't rotate it around before I started. Hopefully that will allow me to do this. So we're going to mate. Now obviously this screws in through the top of the clamp. So we click on this shaft, we click on the hole. There we go. That hasn't done the thing I needed to do, never mind. Right, so it's popped it up there. Okay, we can see quite clearly it's concentric. Now, what some of you may find at certain points is it goes the wrong way round. So what I'm going to show you is this mate alignment button here. If we just click it, you see it turns it over. So it's still kept the same mate, but the part's the other way up. Now, if it had done this originally, I'd be telling you to click the button to swap it back over, because sometimes you want it the other way up. So it's just there if you need it. It's obviously selected concentric, which is perfect, so let's OK that. Okay. Now, again, this thing should screw up and down. There is a mechanical mate for doing screws. We will talk about that in a later tutorial because it's not essential for this when we go into moving parts and assemblies and such like. Now, we could mate it so it's flush all the way down, but the problem with that, of course, is it then interferes with the body, which is no good. So we're going to want to put it up a little bit. I'm probably reckoning somewhere around there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mate the top of the clamp with the bottom of the screw. Now again, as I said, it's automatically jumped to coincident because that's what it thinks you want, but we know it doesn't fit. So we're going to go back over and do distance mate. I had it set about 5 before, so let's just round it to 5 so it's a whole number, and then tick it. Okay, that's good. That looks nice and neat. There's a little bit of a gap both sides so we can see it. Now the last thing, obviously, is that this still rotates. That's not a great problem, but it just won't look good in the technical drawings because it'll always be at a slight squiff angle, won't line up. It means we'll end up with lots of hidden detail lines and extra lines we don't want. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to align that hole with the inside of that curve, because it's going to make those concentric. So they have the same center point, they're facing the same distance. It also does it with parallel, which is quite good. And we're going to tick that, tick it, there we go, and that is our assembly fully defined. So we can just stick it up in the isometric view, see what's going on, there we go. So that's our fully defined, fully assembled inspection V-block. So that's what the level we were expecting to get to. You've got to get all your parts in, get it all fully defined so that it has a set and that's where it should be. Okay, so thank you for watching. That's another tutorial done and dusted.